So here's a good question about domain and range of a graph. Now this graph is just a partial graph. So in class we looked at ones that kind of went on forever in both directions, but this one has kind of a starting and stopping point. So how do we deal with that? Well, remember that domain is the x-coordinates. So we want to know what are all the possible x-coordinates that are represented here. Now remember that a graph here is like a whole bunch of little points, and there's an infinite number of points, so together they make this graph. So if we could list them all, you might think of it as what all the possible x values we would list are. More specifically, what is the smallest and the largest? Another way to kind of think of this is think of this as like, here's my little x-ray machine. And this little vertical bar is looking for points that have a certain x value. Are there any points over here at -4? Nope, there's no blue points. Any blue points over here at -3? Nope. Any at -2? No. How about -1.5? No. But there is a point that has an x value of -1. And there is a point that has an x value of -0.9 and -0.8 and an x value of 0, an x value of 1. Okay, so it's touching these blue points here, so that's what I'm looking at. There is a point, a blue point, that has an x value of 1. That's on my little radar detector here. Okay, there is an x value of 0.5. There's a point, it's right there. Okay, and there is an x value of 1.9. Now, is there a point that has an x value of 2? Not really, because remember this open dot means that that's not included. So our domain here starts at -1 and it's included, so we're going to use the hard bracket. And it goes all the way up to 2. So we'll do a soft bracket there. Okay? So that's our domain. Now there's no x values bigger than 2, so it stops there. There's no blue points over here. Now, what about the range? Well, for range, we're talking y values. Remember, domain is x values, and range is the y values. All right, so we're going to take this little line here, and we're going to flip this around. So now we're going to take our line here, and we're going to look for y values. We want to know what is there a point that has a y value of -4. We're kind of looking horizontal with my little red x-ray bar here. Nope. There is no blue point down here. Is there a blue point at -3? Nope. Is there a blue point that has a y value of -2? No. A y value of -1? No. How about a y value of 0? Well, not really, but we do have a y value at 0.01 here, or just a little bit above 0. So we're starting to get into blue points. Here's a blue point here that has a y value of 1. Here's a blue point that has a y value of 2. A blue point that has a y value of 2.5. Ooh, there's a couple points that have a y value of 3, one there and one there. Okay. But again, we're just looking for all the y values. What are the possible y values? Well, there is a point that has a y value of 4, but is there any points that have y values bigger than 4? Nope. So the y values, these blue points, start at 0 and they go up to 4. That's the y value. So the y values are going from 0 to 4. And now it includes 4. There is a point that has a y value of 4, and it doesn't include 0. All right, so that's the idea. Sometimes it helps to kind of turn the paper maybe, and that will, you can kind of look at it sideways to get the y values. But just remember, x values, we're looking for x values vertically, kind of looking above the x-axis. Y values, we're seeing what the lowest point is and the highest point. Lowest point is at 0, highest point is at 4.